What if the man who refuses to chase attention is the one who commands it most? What if silence speaks louder than seduction, solitude more powerful than status? In a world where social approval is currency and validation is the game, what happens when someone walks away from it all? Not bitterly, not loudly, just walks away. No Instagram-worthy proposals, no over-explaining texts, no need to be liked. He doesn't follow trends, he questions them. He doesn't seek comfort, he disrupts it. He doesn't try to fit in, he makes the world bend around his presence. This man exists, and he's become one of the most misunderstood figures of the modern age. He's not cold, he's focused. He's not arrogant, he's just uninterested in pretending. And perhaps most controversially, he doesn't need a relationship to complete him. So why does this trigger so many people? Why do modern women, in particular, find themselves both drawn to and deeply frustrated by this type of man? Could it be that he exposes something uncomfortable? Could it be that the way he lives challenges everything we're told to desire? This isn't a war of genders. It's a collision of expectations. Let's unravel the truth behind the tension, the real reason. 97% of modern women don't just misunderstand Sigma males, but quietly resent what they represent. He doesn't ask for attention, but he gets it. Not because he begs for it, but because he seems to exist above it. In an age where affection is measured in reactions, shares, and selfies, his detachment is both magnetic and maddening. Women today are used to a specific kind of connection. They're used to being chased, adored, constantly reassured. The modern man, often influenced by algorithms and dopamine hits, competes for attention in a digital arena. But the Sigma male? He steps out of the ring entirely. He doesn't need to be seen to feel valuable. He doesn't need approval to know his worth. His independence isn't performative, it's intrinsic. To some women, that's refreshing. To others, it's rejection wrapped in mystery. And that's the first crack in the comfort zone. When a man doesn't need you to feel whole, what role are you supposed to play? That's the unspoken tension. Not that he's selfish, but that he's self-sufficient. And in relationships built on codependence, self-sufficiency can feel like abandonment. This isn't about coldness. It's about clarity. The Sigma male doesn't pull away because he's afraid. He stays centered because he's grounded. He doesn't argue to win. He doesn't emote to be understood. He observes. He pauses. He chooses stillness when others explode. To the emotionally expressive, this feels like indifference. To the emotionally manipulative, it feels like hitting a wall. Modern dating often thrives on highs and lows, chasing passion, then pulling away. Emotional theatrics have become a form of currency. But this man doesn't play that game. His control isn't a mask. It's a principle. He's not cold-hearted. He's deliberate. And this control, this calmness, is often misread. To many women, it comes across as a lack of interest, a refusal to open up. But in reality, it's something deeper. A boundary, a protection, a choice to value peace over drama. He doesn't react. He reflects. He doesn't rush. He responds. But that makes him unshakable, and to those used to emotional leverage, that's terrifying. He won't follow your script. He won't meet your expectations. He questions everything from career paths to dating customs. Modern society has rules. Subtle, unspoken, but powerful. Be ambitious, but not too much. Be emotional, but only when appropriate. Be romantic, but also masculine. And yet, he walks away from all of it. He doesn't dream of six-figure salaries to impress strangers. He doesn't post curated content to attract approval. He doesn't follow the playbook because he never agreed to play the game. To some, that's admirable. To others, it's infuriating. When a man lives by his own code, society often brands him as difficult. Not because he's wrong, but because he's unpredictable. And unpredictability is dangerous to a world built on roles and routines. For women who expect traditional romance, the grand gestures, the constant communication, his authenticity is disruptive. He shows up as he is, without filters. He doesn't perform. He doesn't conform. He is, quite simply, unapologetically himself. His mission comes first. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he's clear on his purpose. Where others get lost in distractions, he stays focused. Where others seek comfort, he seeks growth. His relationships must align with that mission, or they're not worth pursuing. He doesn't chase love as an escape. He seeks partnership as synergy. And that kind of clarity? It can be lonely, but it's never hollow. He's not waiting for someone to fix him. He's not interested in fixing someone else. He's building a life, and if someone joins him, it's because they're walking in the same direction. For many modern women, this feels like being placed second. They're used to being the center. But to him, purpose is the center and love orbits around it. That's not neglect. That's design. And while some women find that inspiring, others find it impossible to accept. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't flatter for approval. He speaks truth, even when it stings. This is not cruelty. It's conviction. He'd rather risk tension than betray authenticity. In a world that values smooth edges and polite lies, his bluntness is both jarring and liberating. He calls out manipulation. He rejects false narratives. Not to dominate, but to remain real. And that realness? It pierces comfort zones. For those who have built their identity around being admired, his honesty is a mirror they didn't ask for. It reflects not just flaws, but the stories they've told themselves. He doesn't argue for validation. He states facts, owns his beliefs, and moves on. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. It's not hostility. It's clarity. But clarity is rare. And rare things often attract resistance. So why do 97% of modern women dislike Sigma males? The real answer might surprise you. It's not because they're bad partners. It's not because they're emotionally unavailable. It's not even because they refuse to conform. It's because they represent something deeply uncomfortable. A man who cannot be controlled. He doesn't yield to emotional pressure. He doesn't adjust himself for social approval. He doesn't break himself into pieces just to be accepted. He lives whole. And that kind of wholeness is threatening, because it exposes just how fragmented the rest of us might be. The Sigma male doesn't seek to dominate. He doesn't want to be followed. He simply wants to be free. And freedom, by nature, disrupts systems built on control. For some, this disruption is a wake-up call. For others, it's a personal offense. But in truth, he's not attacking anyone. He's inviting everyone to rise, to stop relying on applause, to stop fearing solitude, to stop chasing what doesn't align. So before you judge the Sigma male, ask yourself, is it truly him you're frustrated with? Or is it the part of you that wishes you could live the same way? Sometimes what we resist in others is exactly what we need to cultivate in ourselves. And if that's true, then maybe the Sigma male isn't here to be loved or hated. Maybe he's here to show us what freedom really looks like. So if this perspective stirred something in you, if it challenged you, inspired you, or made you think, then maybe you're exactly where you need to be. And if you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to Fragments of Stoicism, your weekly dose of timeless wisdom and modern insight. Stay grounded. Stay curious. Stay you.